Hi friends, thanks for joining us for our special Thanksgiving story time. Our first book that we're going to read is called Thanksgiving Rules. I'm Percy Isaac Gifford. Today's Thanksgiving Day. This is my empty stomach. This is the buffet. And here's a little secret. I'm a Thanksgiving pro. When it comes to Turkey Day, there's nothing I don't know. I get the most out of my holiday. I promise you can too. Just follow my simple rules. That's all you have to do. The first thing you must know, moms like to set a mood. They like to control everything, from your clothing to the food. So wear whatever you have to, from your head down to your feet. Remember, the sooner you get dressed, the sooner you can eat. Next, you have to get involved. Dad likes when I volunteer. He says seeing me help out fills his heart with cheer. Rule 2, eat, drink, but first clean. Now I know that it's no fun to sweep or clean or peel, but trust me when I tell you, it's the fastest way to the meal. After you're done cleaning, I'm sure you'll want to eat, but you can't do that just yet. First, you have to greet. Rule number 3, short equals sweet. That means when family or friends arrive, you have to be polite. But here's a helpful tip, it doesn't have to take all night. I'm talking about an art form I call the quick hello. A simple friendly greeting, and then you're good to go. Rule number 4, the early bird gets the turkey. The place you should be heading is what I call the main event. It's best to get there early. For directions, follow the scent. Now please take a moment and savor this part of your day. For my friend, you have arrived at the Thanksgiving buffet. Pickles. Never had pickles at Thanksgiving. Rule number 5, the more the merrier. Here's where I can be most helpful. It's time to fill your plate. Remember, the round thing in your hand can hold a lot of weight. Start with piles of turkey. It's best when nice and hot. Then pour on a little gravy. Better yet, pour a lot. From there, you'll want to add a little something on the side. This part can be tricky. Stick with me, I'll be your guide. First, take sweet potatoes. Trust me, they taste good. Don't be afraid of stuffing, even though it looks like wood. Definitely try the green beans. For color, add cranberry sauce. If you don't eat all of these, it will be your loss. Rule number 6, don't be afraid to eat everything. Now the time has come to issue my Thanksgiving decree. Percy Isaac Gifford's official Thanksgiving decree. I officially command you to eat everything you see. Eat beets, carrots, broccoli, pumpkins, squash, and yams. Eat soups, salad, pickles, chickens, ducks, and clams. Eat rice, mushrooms, walnuts, almonds, figs, tomatoes. Eat fish, veal, asparagus, corn, and mashed potatoes. Eat spinach, biscuits, cabbage, oysters, shrimp, and roast. Eat noodles, ham, and eggplant, and caviar on toast. Eat liver, steak, and onions, Brussels sprouts, and peas. And do not be afraid to say, I'll have lots more, please. Percy. Your plate should now be close to full, though hopefully there are holes. My advice, plug them up with piles of dinner rolls. That's my favorite. Oh, rule number 7, don't stop or drop, just take some rolls. My friend, you've now got what you need. Go find a place to sit. It's time to gobble up your dinner. Eat every single bit. Eat till your plate is squeaky clean, then go back for more. The second time around is something I adore. Rule number 8, the second time is the charm. And now for the finale. It's time for dessert. Sampling some of everything really cannot hurt. You should try each type of pie. Taste every tart or cake. Show that you appreciate everyone who tried to bake. And while we're on the subject, appreciation's a big deal. Today's a day to show you're thankful and not just for the meal. It's a day to show your loved ones just what they mean to you. So before Thanksgiving is over, there's something I like to do. I give everyone around me their own Thanksgiving hug. I call it the Percy Isaac Special, which means it's big and snug. Almost everyone seems to like it. They almost always say, how nice. But I must admit that over the years, I've been given some advice. Once or twice, it's been suggested that I modify my technique. Rule number 10, a hug makes the heart grow fonder. So I now provide The Overeater Special, a simple light peck on the cheek. And those are the Thanksgiving rules. You might recognize this little guy. This is Franklin. So let's see what Franklin's up to for Franklin's Thanksgiving. Franklin liked everything about Thanksgiving. He liked eating pumpkin fly pie and cranberry jelly. He liked making cornucopias and corn husk dolls, but most of all, he liked having his grandma and grandpa come for dinner. It was a family tradition, and Franklin could hardly wait. A week before Thanksgiving, a postcard arrived from Franklin's grandparents. "Oh dear," sighed Franklin's mother. "Grandma and Grandpa can't make it back for the holiday." "But they have to," cried Franklin. "They're always here for Thanksgiving." Franklin's mother gave him a big hug. "There will still be the 4 of us," she said. "It won't be the same," Franklin grumbled. Over the next few days, Franklin was so busy that he didn't have much time to think about Grandma and Grandpa. He helped his mother pick apples and make applesauce. He helped his father dig up vegetables and store them in the cellar. Franklin and Bear helped Harriet and Beatrice pick berries and gather nuts. In the gardens and orchards, forests and fields, everyone was bringing in the harvest. Franklin counted all the jars of jams and preserves. "I think this year was the most bountiful ever," announced his father. "We could feed the whole town." "I just wish we could feed Grandma and Grandpa," sighed Franklin. His mother agreed. "We'll miss having company," she said. At school, Franklin's class made a harvest quilt and learned how the early settlers celebrated Thanksgiving. "What are you doing for Thanksgiving, Mr. Owl?" asked Franklin. "I'll have dinner with my mother," he replied. "Our relatives can't visit this year." "Ours neither," said Franklin. Then he had an idea. He invited Mr. Owl and his mother for dinner. "It's all right with my parents," Franklin explained. "They want company." "Well, thank you, Franklin," said Mr. Owl. "We'd be delighted to come." Franklin smiled. This would be a wonderful surprise for his parents. At home, Franklin's mother looked at the berry pies cooling on the windowsill. She had an idea. She walked over to Bear's house and invited the whole family for Thanksgiving. "It will be a wonderful surprise for everyone," she explained. In the garden, Franklin's father waved to Mr. Mole. "Are you going to your sister's for Thanksgiving?" he asked. "Not this year," replied Mr. Mole. "With my broken ankle, I can't go far." Franklin's father had an idea. He invited Mr. Mole for dinner. "It will be a wonderful surprise for everyone," he explained. That's a lot of people. After school, Franklin went home with Moose. That's when he had another idea. It was the Moose family's first Thanksgiving in Woodland. Franklin invited them for dinner. "It's all right with my parents," he explained. "They want company." "We'd be delighted," replied Mrs. Moose. Franklin smiled. His surprise was getting bigger and bigger. On Thanksgiving morning, Franklin got up early to help with dinner. He stirred soup and shucked corn. Then he set the table for 9. Franklin's father counted the place settings. He shook his head and reset the table for 5. Franklin's mother looked at the table. She was puzzled, but she added 3 more place settings, and everyone took turns peeking out the window, watching for the surprise guests. Uh-oh, they're all trying to surprise each other. We have a full house. Mr. Owl and his mother were the first to arrive. "Surprise!" Franklin shouted to his parents. "This is a surprise," they exclaimed. Then Franklin saw the Bear family and Mr. Mole. Now everyone was surprised. All the guests crowded inside, holding platters and bowls heaped high with food. Franklin and his parents laughed and tried to explain what had happened. "Well, we sure have plenty to eat," declared Franklin's mother. "We just don't have plenty of room." Franklin knew that they had a big problem. The Moose family hadn't arrived yet. Franklin looked around. There wasn't one bit of room inside, but outside. Suddenly, Franklin knew what to do. Moose and his family arrived as all the others came out the door. Everyone carried food and dishes, tables and chairs. "What's going on?" asked Moose. "We're eating our Thanksgiving dinner in the field," answered Bear. "Just like the early settlers," said Franklin. It was a wonderful afternoon. Everyone ate lots of good food, and everyone said how thankful they were for good friends and family. Franklin was thankful for 3 helpings of pumpkin fly pie. "I'm eating Grandma and Grandpa's share," he explained. Soon the sun was setting, and it was time to go home. "This was a wonderful day," said Franklin's mother. Franklin agreed. "Let's do it again next year," he said. Everyone laughed and cheered. Grandma and Grandpa phoned later that night, and Franklin told them all about the new Thanksgiving tradition. They promised that next year they wouldn't miss it for anything. Franklin smiled. He might not get 3 helpings of pumpkin fly pie next year, but he knew he'd still be thankful. They turned out to have a really nice Thanksgiving. Thanks for Thanksgiving. Thanks for Thanksgiving, for turkey and pie. Thank you for fall and gold leaves floating by. Thank you for school. I love to feel smart. Thank you for music and dancing and art. Thank you for play dates, for swings and for slides. Thank you for hopscotch and piggyback rides. Thanks for sweet puppies and soft furry cats. Thank you for dress up, red shoes, and big hats. These people have a lot of gratitude, which means that they are very thankful for the things that they have. Thanks for umbrellas, for rain boots and puddles. Thank you for mommy and warm, cozy cuddles. Thank you for daddy and rides on a sled. Thank you for kisses and tucks into bed. Thanks for the moon and the stars up above. But most of all, thanks for the family I love. So I hope you enjoyed those stories about Thanksgiving. For our curbside craft this week, we have a Thanksgiving placemat. So on the front, looks like this. So I've colored everything. Yours will just be black and white. And then you can color it, and I used both crayons and markers. So it says Happy Thanksgiving. And then on the back, there are some fun activities. You've got a word search, spot the difference, connect the dots, an acorn hunt, a crossword puzzle, and then you can draw something that you're thankful for. So if you choose the curbside craft, you'll just get this one piece of paper that's a placemat, and then on Thanksgiving Day, you could eat your food on it. And then if you choose the printable craft, you'll see some colored pictures and then some black and white pictures that you can color in yourself. And then there are two phrases, Happy Thanksgiving and Give Thanks. So you can put both of them on your piece of paper. So you'll just find a piece of paper at your house, and then you can cut these things out, color them, and then glue them onto your placemat. It'll be just a smaller placemat, unless you have big paper. And then I just chose to put Happy Thanksgiving, but if you find that you have room, you could put both of them on there. And then I chose to do 2 of the colored pictures already, and then I found some of the black and white pictures that I liked, and I colored them in myself, and then I glued them on there. And so then you could also use this as a placemat for Thanksgiving. So I hope you and your family have a great Thanksgiving, and we'll see you next time.